If you look at how companies are making the transition to the cloud, most businesses start with virtualization to reduce their data center and environmental footprint costs. They then move their applications and applications development into a transitional state using a PaaS environment. Eventually, they move to a complete in-house private cloud or alternatively, a fully managed SaaS environment. After all, independent software vendors of SaaS services or most newly established companies today will more than likely choose to start higher up the adoption path and go directly either to a PaaS or a SaaS model, simply because of the financial flexibility and the low startup costs that such models enable. Companies like Groupon, for example, to a large extent owe their overnight growth and scalability to SaaS infrastructures, and there are very few venture capitalists or investors today who put their money into a very large IT capital investment upfront. There's a vast range of IaaS services out there, ranging from simple storage solutions to full-fledged virtual computing environments. One of my favorite storage center case studies is Times Machine from New York Times. Readers access back issues of New York Times from the 1850s to the 1920s, and the data for the site was actually generated using virtual Amazon EC2 instances, and the actual PDFs and other data for the site were stored on Amazon's S3 service. Now, what's really interesting was that this entire system was built within a week using one of the staff members' credit cards. Services like IaaS and PaaS are not just for the supercomputing and data center community. It's even possible to create a desktop instance of Windows or Linux that can be accessed from your Android or iPad tablet. 10 cents an hour for a virtual computer works out to $72 a month. Think about the possibilities. If any of you have been involved in working with software development and testing, you'll know that dedicated QA test environments are always under conflicting priorities. With PaaS, this needn't be the case anymore. Just fire up a new instance and all the testing tools and production environment comes along with it. No hardware purchase necessary whatsoever. Online service providers prefer to work in PaaS environments because it's easier to code, test, and then deploy SaaS software and services on the same platforms using multiple instances of the same environment. After all, if software development is being outsourced, it's also a lot easier to transition to a PaaS environment and then just transfer control of the same environment to new development resources anywhere in the world. This as a much more feasible alternative to physically moving resources and computers. Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure, and Salesforce's Force.com are good examples of PaaS environments. After all, applications that are developed and hosted online are referred to as SaaS. It's a lot easier for providers to support and incrementally improve software using SaaS models because there are no installations and no upgrades to manage. Providers can operate on a continuous release and deploy cycle instead of a quarterly or bi-monthly release calendar. Google Apps and Office 365 are good examples of online productivity suites that are replacing desktop applications, but there are also end-to-end ERP and CRM suites out there that are completely cloud-based. NetSuite is a good example. As the service-based economy starts to take off, we see examples like Salesforce's Jigsaw emerge that provides data as a service. Similarly, network operators like Rogers in Canada provide network access as a service so that others can deliver content and layered services using their own subscription models. We see such content providers delivering subscriptions directly to your Boxy Box or Apple TV or whatever your entertainment device of choice may be. Eventually, we also see internal corporate functions like IT governance moving to a service-based model.